right, guys. AJ from Fork and Hose Company here with another episode of Fork and Hose Company on National Fire Radio. Today, I'm joined by a very special guest. This guy's probably contributed to Fork and Hose Company more than anybody over the past maybe year or two. We have Ben McGraw from FirehouseGrub coming to us all the way from Texas, the city of Richardson, which, if I'm not mistaken, is just north of Dallas. So Ben, why don't you do us a favor and give us a little bio about yourself, where you live, where you work, and, all that other good stuff.
Yeah, so like I just said, my name is Ben. I work in the city of Richardson. It's the next city north of Dallas. I live over in Fort Worth, Texas, so I'm about 75 miles from my station. We work 24 on, 48 off, so it's really not a huge deal for all of us guys to drive that far. Yeah, sure. A lot of the guys live further out. I've been with Richardson a little over 5 years now.
And you got on young when you were young as well, right? Just like
right.
myself.
Yeah, I worked for another department before Richardson, a smaller department. I was there for a little less than a year, and then I moved to Richardson.
Gotcha.
But we run a truck, engine, and ambulance. So we have 10 guys at my station. So our grocery bill is $100 a shift. It's
for
doable.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. How do you guys split that up?
Yeah, so we everyone's kind of on their own for breakfast. People, we buy breakfast stuff, eggs and stuff, cereal, oatmeal, that kind of stuff. Pretty much everyone's on their own for breakfast, unless it's the weekend. On the weekends, we do breakfast together, and then we always do lunch and dinner together. So
that seems to be a common theme that I'm seeing a lot of. Is like you're on your own during the week. And then come the weekend, whether it's waffle day or pancake day, eggs Benedict I'm seeing a lot of, which is pretty crazy to think that it's, Firehouse Kitchen, but you're putting out that food. I think that's pretty cool.
Breakfast. Yeah, so like on the weekends we do a late breakfast, so we consider it a lunch, but it's
right.
A brunch. So
gotcha. And so now $100, that's got to go for the 24-hour shift for 10 guys.
Right. Yeah, and that includes.
I'm not good at math.
Staples too.
$10 a guy.
Yeah.
That you can't even cook breakfast for that much in New York. Where we're expensive, and my job, we're a crew of 3, so. There's no buying the family pack and getting, those kind of deals. So we're constantly trying to figure out like the best way to, to shop.
Yeah. Well, like I said, that $100, that has to include like our staples, like our bread, milk, peanut butter, spices, salt, pepper, all that kind of stuff. So we go to Sam's and stock up on spices and stuff, but
gotcha.
We're always buying salt.
So today, what are we cooking today, Ben? Because what we like to do on this show, granted this is like the 3rd episode, so we're pretty new into this, but what we like to do is we like to have our guests pick the dish, whether it's something that they like to make at home in the firehouse, something that's, popular in the firehouse. We like the guests to make that decision, and then I'm going to take it and put my own little twist on it. So what are we making today, Ben?
So today we are doing burgers for lunch. I'm going to flip my camera around. Last shift, we built a grill grate to go on top of the firebox on the smoker. So it'll rest right there, and we're just going to do some flame grilled burgers.
So clearly we are in Texas because A, you got a badass smoker in the back patio area, and B, we got, and yeah, look, to top it off,
right.
Just in case nobody knew.
Yeah,
that's awesome. So did you guys build that smoker, or is that something?
No, this one is actually my personal one. My wife got me this for Christmas. She has a good family friend that's a welder, and so he built it for me. But
Okay. Nice.
we have this other one, like I was telling you earlier, that's an old fire extinguisher that one of the guys at my station turned into a smoker. It's got the firebox down below it, and
Yeah.
two chambers, so it's pretty sweet.
Now, you participated in the recent National Fire Radio Fork and Hose Company first ever Labor Day barbecue cook-off, and I gotta say, man, it was close. You were pretty damn close with your brisket, which you sent to me before, and I'm telling you right now, if you don't follow Ben at Fork and Hose Company, FirehouseGrub, you're doing yourself a disservice. The barbecue, granted, you're from Texas, so I would expect nothing less.
Right.
But the barbecue you put out is phenomenal. But what is the inspiration behind today's burger? Is it just something that, the guys ask for a lot, or is this something that you just like to make?
Yeah, a little bit of both. I like making burgers. The guys like the burgers, and where we buy our groceries, we can get like I said, we have to buy in bulk, so we can buy a lot of hamburger meat for pretty cheap. So it's just an easier meal to do, a good cheap meal. So
Right. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Everybody in the fire service knows that when you're cooking in the firehouse, like you were just talking about budgets, you're constantly looking for sales. You're looking for some ways to maybe extend an ingredient into maybe the next meal. So that's a great point. And who, in their right mind doesn't like a hamburger? But what kind of hamburger are you making today? You're going to go classic?
We're just doing classic cheeseburgers with American cheese and a little bit of bacon on top, lettuce, tomato, onion.
Nice.
Nothing fancy.
You can't go wrong with something like that.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get
we usually do them on. Do what?
Let's start cooking. Let's get the show rolling here. I'm doing
We're actually catching a call. Let me see if someone will jump on in.
Yeah.
I'm not taking that call for me. Yeah. I'm doing a little deal. Huh? All right, we're good.
Saved by the bell, right?
Yeah.
Listen, when it comes to food, guys will usually make arrangements. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you're doing the classic American burger. I'm doing a little variation of what is known as, I guess, the Oklahoma onion burger, which I've never made before. So this is a first for me, but I'm going to give it a shot. And I'm also going to put my own little twist on it. Basically, it's going to be thin sliced onions that I'm going to put on the cast iron pan, which I know you love to cook with. And then I'm going to smash some burgers down, some homemade pickles and pickled jalapenos, and American cheese. Call it a day. First thing I'm going to do, though, I like to toast my bun. I don't know how you like to do yours. I like a little bit of toastiness on mine.
You do mayonnaise pre-toast?
I do a little mayonnaise. A trick I learned at the first restaurant I ever worked at. It spreads so much easier than butter, especially if you pull butter out of the fridge and you try putting it on a piece of bread. You're going to tear the bread up, and it's going to basically be unusable. So I just put a little mayo, make sure I go edge to edge. But that's personal preference for me. Now I gotta switch up here. Oh wait. I need my cutting board, and I'm going to use a tool that I think most people should have in their kitchen, and that is a mandolin. I don't know if you've ever used one, Ben, but it just helps with getting the even cutting on whatever it is you need. In this case, onion. Keeps the slices even rather than a little bit thick, a little bit thin here and there. If you want everything to kind of cook the same rate, you got to get yourself a mandolin. and it's kind of like a hybrid version of the Oklahoma burger, which like I said, I never had. I never been to Oklahoma, but I've seen I've seen some videos. I'm gonna give it a shot. And your burger, you're doing bacon, you said, right?
Right.
Now, is this any particular kind of bacon? Is this, applewood smoked? Or...
Kroger brand thick cut bacon.
There you go.
Big deal, 3 pounds.
3 pounds, huh? Nice.
Yes, sir.
And you're cooking that on a flat top?
Yeah, we're going to do that on a flat top.
Okay. Because I know one way I love to do bacon is in the oven. I don't know if you've ever done that before. Just throw it on like a sheet pan.
Yeah, that does make it easy.
Makes it easy. You're able to kind of keep a cleaner kitchen. You don't have to worry about too much of a mess, like grease splatter and all that.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know about your firehouse, but most that I've come across, and including my own, if you cook, you're not cleaning. That's kind of like the golden rule, we'll say.
Yeah, that's kind of how we do it around here too.
Now, as far as who cooks, is that something you're like the cook, and if a guy wants to jump in one day, he'll do it, but basically you're the cook, or how do you guys do that?
Yeah, I mean, typically we'll send someone on the truck to or just because our truck is slower apparatus. And then we have a couple guys that like to cook, so we kind of just take turns.
Right. So I'm using an induction cooktop here rather than my stove, just so I can get a better angle. So if you hear whizzing, that's the magnet inside of it that's heating up the cast iron.
So like I said, we buy in bulk. So just
wow, it's like a lot, huh?
Yeah. So I'm using 6 pounds of ground beef today. Make 10 burgers. So.
Damn, you don't skim. So, obviously, you love to cook. This is truly a passion of yours, just based off of what, I could tell on your Instagram page and just speaking with you. What, did this start in the firehouse? Is this something that you kind of, always had in you? Did you grow up with that cook spot?
Growing up, my mom was a great cook. So, I give her all the credit. She taught me pretty much everything I know. Obviously, being in the firehouse helps because we like to make good meals too. So,
right. What are some dishes growing up that is there any that you try to recreate or that inspire you?
Gosh, her cookies. I steal her cookie recipe every time.
Are they chewy?
Yes.
Oh my God! I'll eat an entire container. I'm like, I don't want to say a cookie snob, because I'm not a connoisseur or anything like that. But like, if it's crispy, like if it breaks, I don't even want to I don't want to look at it. I'm like I want it to be like almost like barely cooked.
Right. Yep.
I don't mean to boast, but I am enjoying a nice local Oktoberfest. It's unfortunate you got to work. You can't join me, but those are the pluses of hosting your own show, I guess, right? So I got my cast iron on here.
Burgers.
What's up?
You said you're doing smash burgers?
Yeah, it's gonna be like a smash burger kind of thing. I got them already formed into a ball. They're about 4 ounces each. I'm gonna do a double burger.
Gotcha. Typically what we do. Typically we do them on the flat top, but since we got that new grill grate, we're gonna
might as well check it out, right?
Yeah.
You like to use a certain brand of cast iron, right? What's the name of the brand?
It's called Stargazer cast iron.
Okay.
It's a little more expensive than just your traditional lodge cast iron.
Right.
They're made here in the U.S. They're hand buffed once they finish machining them. It's really good quality. They're pretty much non-stick right out of the box. So
Wow. Pre-season kind of deal, like you don't have to worry about doing all that stuff.
You can buy them. You can buy them pre-seasoned or unseasoned.
Okay.
Most everyone that I've talked to has bought them pre-seasoned and really likes them. Like I said, they're pretty much non-stick right out of the box. So.
Right, that's perfect. So I got my pan going. I'm on like medium low heat right now. I'm just toasting my bun up. After I get that done, I'm gonna throw the onions on. Typically with this Oklahoma burger, like I said, I'm not from Oklahoma. I've never been there. I've actually never made this. So this is like a first for me. But typically what they do is they cook the onions and you put the burger on top of the onions, and that creates this like steam environment. But I'm going to kind of flip it around. I'm going to do the onions, but I'm going to pull them off. And then I'm going to get a nice crust on the burgers, because I feel like if I don't do that, I love like when you get like those smash burgers that have like that crispy little edge to them. Like, you cook them on the flat top, you can't beat it. So I'm going to, hopefully nobody from Oklahoma like reports me for this, but I got a nice toast on the bun here. I'm going to set those aside and get my onions going. I like to use Martin's potato rolls just because they're like super consistent, they're soft. I think you guys probably get them down there too.
Yeah, I'm using country style potato rolls today as well. So
yeah, I'm like a stickler for like consistency. So like the fact that I can pick up a package of it every time and it's basically the same.
Right.
Plus, so I'm probably gonna have to throw my hood on. I actually live in the town that I work in, so I really don't need the guy showing up to my own house. That'd be a disaster. Hopefully it's not too loud, but so your mom influenced you as a cook. Is there any professional chefs that kind of influence the way you cook or that you look up to?
Man, not really. I mean, I don't know.
Do you watch, like, are you big into like cooking shows or anything like that? You just kind of do your own thing.
Yeah, I just do my own thing. I don't really watch a whole lot of TV, so
that's cool. It's it seems like nowadays you're either into it or you're not. Like.
My wife likes the one. What is it? That lady cooks in Oklahoma.
Oh, don't tell me the Pioneer Woman.
Yes, Pioneer Woman. Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah. My wife.
Well, I hope the Pioneer Woman doesn't watch, but honestly, I'm not a big fan. I feel like a lot of like shows are kind of less about the food part of it. More about all these like side stories that they like to throw in there.
Very staged.
Yeah. When you're in Texas, obviously, barbecue is a huge thing. Do you guys have your own, competitions? Do you guys have a team? Are you into that stuff, or kind of just fun?
There's a guy that I work with who does the competitions and stuff. He's on C shift, but never done a competition or anything. But there are competitions.
I would imagine that's kind of like a big maybe fundraiser kind of thing for you guys down there.
Yeah, we do. What's that one that Porter puts on, or helps put on? Is it the barbecue for the badge? Yeah, they do one. It's called Barbecue for the Badge. That's a big fundraiser.
Nice.
They do that every year at a car dealership, and
very cool. So I got my onions on here. I did a little bit of butter and a little bit of olive oil, just because if you do straight butter, the smoke point is too low, and you'll end up burning it. So I like to add a little bit of olive oil, just to kind of help with that. And then I added a pinch of salt that'll draw the moisture out and then allow me to get a little bit of color on these onions, which is what I'm looking for. I probably could have cut these a little thinner. I know like the traditional way, you use like a deli slicer and they get it where you can basically read a newspaper through it. But next time, like I said, this is my first time making this guy.
So I've got my burgers formed.
Nice.
I'm about to go check this smoker and see if we've got enough coals going yet.
You guys make your own charcoal, or is that a store bought?
Yeah, a guy that, like I said, we all live pretty far away from the station. So a guy that I work with, he brings in a bunch of mesquite wood, and so like I said, we just kind of use that.
Right. Mesquite has got a pretty strong flavor, right? Like it's a little stronger than like oak and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Is that what you guys like to use, or is there kind of like whatever's available?
Kind of just whatever's available. Like a little less than a year ago, we had a big storm and tornado roll through, so we had a lot of down trees and stuff. So one of the guys has a construction business, and he went around and collected a bunch of oak wood, so we were able to use that for a while. So I'm gonna put this grill grate.
Looks like it's made out of rebar.
Yep.
And you guys have a welder at the station, or is that something that somebody would have, they have to do?
We have a station welder. It's a welder that we keep at the station. So
that's awesome. I love like firehouse ingenuity when it comes to cooking like that.
Yeah.
Our firehouse, we needed a pot rack just because of kind of space, and we needed a place to hang everything rather than above the stove because it was getting greasy. So we went to the hardware store. We ended up getting just like the black iron pipe.
Yeah.
And, just like a simple bracket. When it comes to firehouse cooking, we're on a budget, whether that means ingredients, equipment, that sort of thing.
So on my burgers, all I used today was a little bit of Tony Chachere's.
Oh, nice.
I'll put a little bit of pepper on it.
Yeah. Is that like one of your go-to spices when you
cook?
Yeah,
that's probably one of my favorites. It's got a little bit of everything in it. So
right. Is there so now that we're talking about spices and that kind of thing, in your firehouse, and you don't have to say it if they're around because I don't want you to get in trouble, but is there that picky eater, or are there the guys that just I don't eat peas, or I don't eat fucking hamburgers or whatever, part of my language?
No. I mean, there are
lucky,
guys in the department that they'll refuse to eat chicken, or they don't like pork or that kind of stuff. But luckily at my station, we don't have any picky guys. I mean, there's a couple guys that, they don't like onions or anything, but that's an easy fix. So it's
I'm gonna tell you right now, you're getting off easy. Just based off my own experience and talking to other firefighters that cook in the firehouse, you're getting off pretty damn easy.
Right. Well, and like I said, I mean, there's other guys, like I said, at other stations that they refuse to eat chicken, or you know what I mean. So that makes it hard to cook.
Oh, hell yeah! I'm pulling my onions off. I think they're just about that point.
I'm throwing a
That's
little.
That's one of the things that people that cook in the firehouse, like, or that I'm sorry, that don't know what it's like to cook in a firehouse. Pretty similar to cooking for a restaurant in that you've got so many different tastes, so many different personalities and preferences. So and budgets. So we're constantly trying to find the right path. And then you could be interrupted by a call like you were, but luckily you're able to stick around and keep cooking for the guys.
Yeah, and like whenever if we have a steak night or something, there's always someone that wants it a little bit different than how everyone else does, you know what I mean? So
Please tell me that there's no well-doners in your firehouse.
There are a couple.
Really? In Texas?
Yep.
I would have thought that was like like felony.
Well, it's very frowned upon. So.
Sure. And I feel you you have to give them what they want, right? That at the end of the day, they're still paying for their own meals, so you can't,
Well, and I'm not saying any names, but it may or may not be a captain. So.
Ooh, a boss too.
Got to please the boss.
Yeah, things are getting a little hairy on Fork and Hose Company on National Fire Radio right now. We don't. We're gonna blur out everybody's face. We'll hide their real names. We'll do all that. So
got a pretty good fire now.
Nice.
So that's
you like to get those down to like white coals kind of situation, or you like a little flame? How do you like to cook with those?
Yeah, if I'm doing, because I'm probably gonna leave this lid open. So traditionally if I'm doing it on a grill, then I don't like as much flame as this. But since it's just gonna be over an open grill, I'll leave it a little bit hotter.
Right. And you did the Creole seasoning on them already?
Yep, Creole seasoning and pepper. So I try not to, when I'm doing thicker patties like this, I try not to overwork the ground beef. It can just kind of make the texture weird. So I just kind of get it in a ball in my hands and then just almost kind of like you're doing, just kind of smash it down onto the cookie sheet and then kind of, touch up the edges, make sure that they're not going to fall apart. So
Right. Now, when you cook at the fire, or I'm sorry, when you're cooking at home, do you make stuff at home to test out before you bring it to the firehouse, or are you using the guys at the firehouse as like guinea pigs?
I would say a little bit of both.
Okay. Yeah. Nice. Yeah.
Both. I eat a little bit healthier than I do at the station at home, just because my wife likes to eat a little bit healthier. So.
Right.
But I mean, I experiment at the station too, and if it's something good, then I'll bring it home and make for my wife too. Or if we make something good at the house, then I'll keep that in the bank and save it for the station too. So
nice. Cool.
You got your going on yet?
What's that?
You got your burgers on yet?
I'm waiting for you, bro. Mine are gonna be pretty quick, I think.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and start throwing mine on then.
Sounds good.
I hope I've got enough room.
A little bit.
I may have to do mine in a couple batches.
Yeah, I got like an old Brinkman that my wife got me. It's a offset smoker.
Yeah.
And same kind of setup that you have, but it's one door. But I'll use the firebox as a grill every now and then because I don't have another charcoal grill, and it's a pain in the ass when you've got more than a few things going on it. Just maneuvering everything. I feel your pain on that.
I'm going to run inside real quick and get a spatula. Should have came prepared. And
now, so you've got FirehouseGrub, which, like I said earlier, if anybody's watching and they're not following, they need to jump on that right now because your mouth is going to water every time you go on the page. But what inspired you to start a cooking page?
My wife did, actually. It was her idea. So
really,
I'm typically a very reserved person, so I didn't want to do it at first, but
she kind of forced you to.
Right. So we'll just get another tray and some cheese for the burgers whenever they're done.
And one thing that I'll say that sets your page apart from most is the fact that you it seems like you take the time to get a great picture.
I do, and I catch some slack.
Oh yeah. No, everybody that I got to go outside. I got to get the natural light, whatever it is, you're going to get shit. And, it's the firehouse. So if you don't, something's wrong. That means they don't like you. But, your pictures are great. You take the time to plate things nice. And that means a lot. And especially, for somebody like me who I'm sharing mostly other people's cooking, a lot of times I stress to people, like, just take a good picture. Don't take a bite of the sandwich and then give it to me. Send it to me. That's not going to look so great. But your stuff is like spot on, and Ben takes the time to write down recipes. So
like I'll show you where I get my pictures. It's
you got like a spot.
Well, we've got this whole wall that's just windows.
Oh, dude!
And right on the other side of the windows is our kitchen table.
Right.
So
right.
it's if you see my pictures, everyone in the background, it's like the perfect spot. I've got guys in the background, the sunlight's coming in, so it's just a money spot.
I just moved my cast on and off to the back near the hood because I feel like in about 5 minutes the guys were going to show up at my door. So I'm going to wait for you to start your next round, and then I'll throw these guys on.
Okay, I'm about to flip them and put some cheese on it.
So when you do burgers, you ask the guys, who wants medium rare, or is it just straight?
No. When I do burgers, I just cook them all the same, and everyone likes cheese here, so you
don't have to worry about asking about that. Nice.
I'm just getting my cheese slices ready right now, and I'll flip and throw the cheese on.
When
it's a lot of work for 10 guys, so it's a lot of prepping beforehand. You know what I mean?
Right. And do you ever do stuff at home, like prep things before you get into work, just so that it's done?
Yeah. So if I'm doing like a brisket or something, I'll bring it home the shift before, and I'll season it the shift before, and just kind of get it ready and trimmed and everything like that at home, because a brisket takes so long, and if we want to be eating at supper time, then
right. Now I know we're making burgers, but we're talking about brisket, and I've only attempted once to make it.
Yeah.
And it was edible. That's probably like being very generous to myself. But it definitely wasn't the brisket that I love to eat at great barbecue restaurants.
Right.
So, with that being said, do you have any any tips, pointers, tricks? If it's a family secret kind of thing, I get it. You don't have to share it, but is there anything?
I mean, let me flip these real quick so I don't burn them.
Ben.
Right. So some guys trim a lot of the fat off. I leave anywhere from a quarter to half an inch of fat on the brisket.
Okay.
And then I wrap it at about 165, and when I wrap it, I'll throw a little bit of butter in there, and it just helps keep it juicy.
When you wrap it, are you using tinfoil? Are you using butcher paper?
At the station, I typically just use foil.
Okay.
I
know. I've seen a lot of not arguments per se, but opinions that you got to use foil or you got to use butcher paper. And I've tried. The first and only time I ever did it, I did it with aluminum foil. Yeah. Now, I'm not saying that was the reason it sucked.
Well, and going back to what we were saying earlier, everything's on a budget. There's a lot more uses for aluminum foil than there is butcher paper. So sure. I can use butcher paper or aluminum foil for more than just wrapping a brisket,
Right. All right, I'm going to throw my two guys on. Okay. I'm actually going to... I don't think I'll need it because this is some really nice grass-fed beef from couple friends of mine that are butchers around here,
And
but don't hurt. So throw a little bit of oil and butter on. I'm gonna season them now pretty heavily.
what are you using to season?
Just kosher salt. I'm somewhat of a purist when it comes to like burgers.
Yeah.
And I'm not, like there's a time and a place for like fancy, sea salt and that kind of thing, but
Yeah.
now it's definitely not it. So I just smashed them down. I put my hood up a little higher.
What do you use to smash? Just a spatula? Or?
So this is literally like, it looks like a taping knife kind of thing. It's a flat one though.
Yeah.
Ideally, it'd be kind of offset, which, I've seen a lot of guys using, but I don't have one. I used this in the restaurant I worked at. We would actually do something like this where we would chop it up. And that's called a chopped cheese. You chop it up with jalapenos and pickles, and you put your cheese on top. So I'm just so used to using it. The problem is like this cast iron's like a country barrel or some restaurant around here. I found it at a thrift garage sale, like $5. And the side's low enough where I could kind of get down in here and smash it.
Well, I mean, $5 for a skillet, that's pretty hard to beat.
Oh yeah, I mean, I had to, bring it back to life a little bit, but it's a nice size, especially for me and my wife. I don't need a tremendous, the one we have at the firehouse, I think is like 14 or 16 inch or something like that.
Right. Yeah. Dude, I think one of ours is like a 20 inch. I mean, it's huge.
And nobody knows where this one came from at the firehouse. Nobody. It's been there. I've been there 15 years on the job. It was there before me. Guys that have been there for 30 years can't pinpoint exactly who brought it in and when. So it's kind of like the dinosaur in the firehouse. Guys are afraid to like clean it. They don't want to fuck it up.
So my first round of burgers are done. I'm going to throw them inside the smoker just to keep them warm.
Awesome. Yeah, it's a good idea too, because I'm sure that heat's going to travel across a little bit, just enough, right?
Right. Yeah, and I can, my smoker's holding at about 225 right now, so I can just throw them in there and it'll keep them warm. So
I got to open up some windows. It's getting a little smoky here.
alrighty, next round's going on.
All right. I got to switch. I got to go back to the oven.
Does your wife get mad when you make it smoky like that?
No, she could care less. She's going to eat the food. It's delicious. But
Really?
I just don't want the guy showing up at my house.
Right.
Because
My wife always.
they're gonna want their own food, and that ain't happening. But these are the trials and tribulations of cooking in your house, right?
Yeah.
When you cook at home, so you said you like to eat a little healthier. What are some of your? Because I know you shared something fairly recently with me that seemed pretty good, pretty healthy.
I think it was that Mediterranean salad that I did.
Okay.
Salmon, Mediterranean salad. That's like a weekly staple at my house. I mean, we probably eat that once a week.
Oh, wow. Nice.
So it's just, we like to use either brown rice or chickpea pasta noodles.
Okay.
And then it's just romaine lettuce, tomatoes, purple onion, Kalamata olives, feta cheese, cucumber, and then I make a Greek dressing to go over the top of it.
Now, is that the one that you did send me at the firehouse that time? That because I remember you said something healthy, and I knew, you're not always making the healthy stuff there, and I had to share it anyway.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. There may have been another one. I can't remember now.
All right, I'm throwing my onions on, and then I'm gonna flip these guys. And if you do something healthy, do you have to ask permission from the guys, or is it just something you do and pray and hope for the best?
Sometimes both. It depends on what it is. But I
What's
mean,
that?
it depends on what it is. A lot of the times, like we'll do chicken salad or taco salad just because it's cheap and
Just because
easy.
it says salad in the name,
Right. Make a salad, then load it up with a bunch of taco meat and salsa.
Right.
Eat it with a bunch of chips and salsa to make it make it better.
But it's a salad, so technically,
right.
It ain't wrong, but it ain't right. All right, so my burgers are going to be done pretty soon. I just put the cheese on. I think American cheese
second
is the way
round
to go.
going. Yeah, that's what I'm using. I'm just using Kroger brand American cheese. I'm doubling it up on the patty, so 2 slices per patty. So I've got my other ones staying warm in here.
So, you like to cook in the firehouse. Obviously,
Yep.
you have a passion for it. Is there any future in cooking for you? Did you ever think about working in a restaurant or maybe opening your own one day? Or is it just pretty much a great hobby that you have that, you enjoy?
Man, it's pretty much a hobby. There's a lot of people that tell me I should open one, but I know the restaurant industry is a hard industry to be in, so
Right.
I don't know that I want any part of that. I don't want it to be one
Probably
of those
better off, man.
where I end up hate cooking or something, or
Right. I like to ask that just because, there's so many talented firehouse chefs out there that probably crush it, especially like we were talking earlier about the correlation between cooking in the firehouse, cooking at home, in a restaurant.
Well, and I don't know how it is for y'all up there, but most firemen down here, they've got some type of part-time job or part-time.
Oh yeah.
But I don't think I know of any that have a restaurant or a food truck or anything like that.
Really?
So it's
you could be the first, man. Come on, trailblazer.
No, I think I want any part of that.
All right, my burgers are done.
How many did you make? Just for you and your wife?
Just for me.
Yeah.
These are just. I made a double. These are just for me.
She's eating the taco salad.
She literally just made herself like a salad kit or something. I'm like, I got to sacrifice. It's for the page.
Right, someone's got to do it.
Somebody's got to do it, right?
All right, so I'm gonna give these a flip.
Now, when you serve at the firehouse, are you plating things up for guys? Because the plate you do for the picture is always nice, proper. But
Right.
Is it kind of like every man for himself?
It's kind of every man for himself. I wouldn't say everyone's plate looks as nice as mine.
All right, now I gotta figure out how to take a picture. I'm gonna have to disconnect from this guy. You tell me if I'm doing it right. You always got like the angle.
Right, you got to get the angle.
I gotta arrange shit. I need a food stylist. Then
Get the angle, get the lighting.
Guys in the firehouse always say, oh, here we go, time for the picture.
Yep.
Oh man, I messed this
Are
up.
your guys pretty picky at your station or no?
They're certain guys are. But the thing about it is they're usually pretty good. You know, they'll you know, if it's they don't like a certain thing, they'll pick it out. But I try to kind of, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? You know, if I know they don't like something, I'll usually avoid it, unless it's completely avoidable. You know, it's like.
Right.
But protein-wise, they're all good. You know, there's no. Although fish could be tricky. You know, like some guys they're not big fans of fish, so to cook fish at the firehouse is a rarity. Same thing with game meat. You know, like venison. We have a bunch of hunters, but
not everyone likes it.
not everyone likes to eat the meat. So I'm usually like, all right, give me your meat. You know, give me the venison that you're not gonna eat. All right, so I'm gonna put it up.
Is fish pretty affordable up there?
Is what affordable?
Fish?
Yeah, I mean it's we have a great variety that we can get. You know, whether it's imported or domestic. And we have, you know, locally we have some great fishmongers that they get a good array of fish. So you can kind of splurge if you want, or you can go, you know, with something more affordable. Fish is pretty much only for home, except maybe shrimp. I usually don't make any fish at the firehouse, and if it is, it's usually fried. You know. Fried striped bass. We've done a bunch of times because that's right in the waters off Long Island, and we have a bunch of guys that fish as well. So it's not uncommon to get that. Do you guys have any hunters? You're not near water. I know you said you're landlocked, but
no, yeah. I mean, we're probably 5 hours away from the ocean.
Wow, that far, huh?
Yeah. Texas is big.
And as far as like hunters, do you guys get any hunters or?
Yeah. I'm a hunter myself, and then we probably have, gosh, I don't know, another 5 or 6 just on my crew that hunt. So,
cool.
Hunting season's coming up, so I imagine we'll be stocked up on some deer here shortly. So.
Is that primarily what you guys go for?
Yeah. Whitetail deer is
nice.
Pretty heavily populated around here, so I'm just waiting on 2 more, and then we're ready to roll.
Awesome. And now, when you serve this, are the guys going to break your balls because it took so long, or?
No. I mean, we're eating at about noon, so that's about right. So.
All right. I know, you know, like where I am, a guy that I used to work with, he retired, but he would get on the PA system over the firehouse at like 12:05. You know, like 12:05. He'd whistle, lunch. You know. When I say impatient, I mean the epitome of it.
Yeah. Is that how y'all announce it? Is over the PA, or how do y'all?
Yeah. We usually, like, I'll get on, chow's on or something along, chow, something along those lines.
Right.
I wouldn't say I'm the only one that cooks in the crew, but I'm, more or less the resident
go-to guy.
Yeah. But I like, if somebody likes to make a certain dish, like a jambalaya or, a ceviche or something, something that they like specialize in, I'm always telling them, just do it. Like, don't wait for me, just, if you want to do something, tell me. And, I'm all for it. You're down to 1, the last one. Is that going to be yours? It's nice and hot.
No, I usually go last, so I usually just get what's there.
Now, as far as seconds go, do you have to make sure that there's enough, in case a guy might want an extra burger or maybe half of a burger, or do you figure in like 1 per guy and that's what
yeah, if it's burgers, we usually just do 1 per guy. I mean, if it's something else, like a, spaghetti or something like that, where it's in bulk or whatever, then, we usually make enough for seconds. And we pretty much always have leftovers. So,
right.
Like,
the worst thing you could do, I think, in the firehouse is not have enough for 4 seconds.
Yeah. Like like I said, we're kind of on our own for breakfast. So a lot of times the next shift, the guys will come in and just eat leftovers for breakfast, or, throw in some eggs or something like that.
You guys, you have the crew or each shift, I don't know what you guys call them, but you have your own refrigerator, or is it kind of a community one that?
Yeah, so we have, there's 3 shifts here. So each shift has their own locker and fridge that's in it.
Wow. Yeah, we, because we're a small job, we don't have that luxury. And recently I bought ice cream for one night for dessert, and I knew that if I left it in the freezer as it was, it would get destroyed. So I ended up wrapping it in tinfoil to kind of like deter somebody from checking it. Well, that didn't work. Sunday night I go in and I just had like this craving for it. And sure enough, I open up the freezer and it's gone. So,
yeah,
we're going to buy 90 miles.
So B and C, I'm on A shift. B and C shift, they both lock their lockers. We just leave ours unlocked. It's
kind of like an honor system thing where,
Yeah.
And then hope for the best.
Right. So I've got a pork butt going for tonight.
Oh, you sneaky bastard.
Yep. I don't know if you can see
that
with the smoke.
I can see it. It's peeking through a little bit.
Yeah, it's hard to see with the smoke coming, but I'm gonna give it a little spritz.
What do you do? Cider vinegar? Or you straight water?
I use apple cider vinegar with a little bit of water, just to kind of water it down.
And now you're gonna serve that like pulled pork sandwich style, or are you gonna do something different?
So since we're doing burgers for lunch, I'm gonna do pulled pork tacos.
Nice.
So I'll just do that with like some coleslaw and some Mexican style street corn.
Perfect. Yeah, these guys can't get mad at you, man. You're giving them great burgers for lunch, and you're gonna give them pulled pork tacos for dinner.
Yeah.
Can't get mad at you for that.
All right, bear with me. I gotta get the door.
Yeah.
So like I said, here's the.
There's the shot right there.
There's the shot right there.
Hey man, did you get them warts cleared up?
I can hear it already.
Yeah. Alrighty. So we got lettuce and or onion and tomato. We got the buns going. Bacon's done. And we got fries in the oven. So
you're ready to go, man.
Ready to roll. I think our last thing is just getting lettuce. Yeah. So this is, like I said, we each have our own locker with fridge and
awesome.
Those are the other 2. Just don't pay attention to any of the pictures on the fridge.
No, I didn't see nothing. Fully stocked too, man.
Yeah, we keep it pretty good.
Dude, I would kill for that. That's awesome. All right, Ben. Plate it up. Let's see what you got.
All right. Let me put it on the table.
This will take 10, 15 minutes for you to like get the plating right, get the light. I can't make out what they're saying, but I like in my head I know exactly what they're saying.
Yeah.
But then what happens, right? They sit down, they eat it, and they shut the hell up.
Right, exactly.
So that's all that matters. They're happy. Yeah. Keep them happy.
I didn't see Ken cooking.
So now you get a break the next shift, or is somebody gonna step up to the plate, or is it on you again?
I don't know. We kind of just
Go with the flow.
Taking your shirt off. That's so weird.
we kind of just decide at the beginning of each shift.
Nice. Now, as far as what you're gonna make for whatever it is, lunch or dinner, you have to. I might have even asked you this before. I can't remember, but do you kind of ask the guys ahead of time, or do they give you kind of their you full go ahead, do what you want, get what you want, and we're gonna eat it?
Yeah. I mean, sometimes like the shift before, if we go to the store and they've got stuff on sale, then we'll buy stuff ahead for the next shift and then just kind of plan for that. Sometimes we usually make a grocery list at the beginning of the shift, and some of the guys will suggest stuff that they like that I make, or
Right.
so it just kind of depends. And like I said, if we've already got stuff from the shift before, then we'll just make that.
Nice.
So like we already had this pork butt, and hamburger meat was on sale last shift, so we bought it. So we already had mostly everything that we needed at the station today. So I mean, we just had to go and get some bread and milk and that kind of stuff.
The pork butt, would you season that with, just to get a little off topic?
I did brown sugar, salt, pepper, paprika, chili powder, and granulated garlic. And then I pat it dry and rub it with mustard and honey first. And then
Honey, really?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. I haven't heard that. I've heard mustard. I've done the mustard.
Yeah, I just kind of do a half and half of honey and mustard on it.
Nice. Well, Ben, while we're waiting for you to plate up and everything,
Yeah.
Where for everybody that's listening and watching, where can we find Ben's cooking? Where can we find you on Instagram?
Just Instagram at FirehouseGrub. It's pretty.
You heard it from him, the man himself.
Easy.
Anytime I post a Firehouse Grub picture, I get a ton of likes, and I think it's primarily because the picture's great and he provides a recipe. I'm not paid.
Every time you post, I feel like I get 100 new followers, so I appreciate it.
Perfect. Great. That's what we're here for. That's one of the things I like to do is, I like to share what everybody else is doing. It's not my own stuff. But
well, let's see your plate.
mine's looking good. I got a nice little stack going on. I probably won't eat dinner after this, but I'm pretty pumped for it. And the onion thing, I'm like hit or miss with when I want onions, but I think in this kind of application where they're griddled like that,
Right.
I dig it.
Literally cook lunch. Like, what is this? A snack? It was horrible. It wasn't.
Ketchup or no ketchup?
I'm a huge ketchup guy. I love ketchup.
I put copious amounts of it.
You shaking your head no.
I'm gonna keep it kind of simple here.
Yeah.
While you're plating up, I'm gonna dive into mine.
This is nothing.
Wow. The onion is is like, it's not caramelized where it's overly sweet, but it's I gotta eat again. Yeah, this is a winner. I'm gonna have to do this one at the firehouse. The pickled onion, the pickled jalapenos adding perfect amount of heat. And I got that, Ben, like that crust you get from a cast iron or a griddle, you can't achieve on,
Right.
a grill or something like that.
Yeah, like I said, I like doing them on the flat top. That's how we normally do them. All right, I got to see if I can take a picture. But there's the shot.
There it is. Well, guys in the background. Oh.
You need me to sit down there again?
Got to get everybody at the table.
Yeah.
All right, Ben.
Well, I appreciate it, man.
This is sit down with your brothers and eat.
Yeah.
I want to say thank you to them for allowing you to do this, because I know you probably got a lot of shit for it.
Yeah. Not to get even worse.
But it was it was an absolute pleasure having you on. I look forward to seeing everything that you're going to cook going forward, and I wish you nothing but the best. And like I said, I appreciate you coming on and doing this wild thing with me.
Well, I appreciate you having me.
All right, man. Stay safe. Eat well.
All right, you too. Appreciate it, bro. Have a good one.
You too.